4:30, so we must get started. Ms. Rector, you want to go first?
I do. Thank you very much. Got to get to a soccer game. Just a couple of updates, things to tell you. Number one, with the torrential rain that we've had over the last couple of weeks, you all know throughout the year we've been fighting that battle at Scott High, some different roof leaks. It was a rough week there, but I really want to say thanks to my maintenance guys. They really just go above and beyond when it comes to that, to make sure that those things don't become any more detrimental than they are. We do have a few places that are in need of some pretty immediate attention, and we have already talked with Mr. Hall and Mr. Blakely, and they're already on that. But just letting you all know that yes, we do have some areas that need some immediate attention. So we're working on that, but we are still battling those leaks. But if you know anything about that, and John can tell you more about it, you can't really battle the leak while it's raining. You really just have to kind of catch the water. You can't really get up there and really look at it and evaluate it until after it stopped raining. So we're just now at the point to be able to kind of evaluate those things and see really what needs to happen there. So we're working on that, but we do have several leak challenges that we're dealing with. The next big thing on the calendar for Scott High is March the 12th. That's our ACT Day. Guys, it's one of our biggest days of the year, so just keep that in your mind and mark that down, say a prayer for everybody on that day. But for parents and students, we've been talking to students about this a lot over the last couple of weeks. ACT Day does involve all 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students. All of those students will be taking some form of the ACT on that day. 11th graders will be taking the actual ACT, 10th graders will take the pre-ACT, which we use title money to purchase, and that is part of what qualifies them for dual credit classes their junior year, and that's a benchmark testing. And then the 9th graders also take a benchmark pre-ACT that day as well, which we provide for them. So that is a very, very important day for our students, for our school, and for the system, because that all goes into system accountability. So that, again, that is March the 12th. Attendance is required for all of those students that day. We will be very strict with attendance on that day, only issuing excuses for doctor's notes, death in the family, those most serious situations. Other than that, we are asking students to be there on that day because, again, it's a very important day. That day we cannot have any sign-outs or late arrivals either, because once those test sessions start, they start. You can't leave them and you can't enter those late. On that note, Mr. Hall, will you jot down and check on buses for me that day? Thank you. We are doing demographics for that test tomorrow, but the actual test date isn't until March the 12th. So we've done a lot of things to prepare for this. We've used our early release days to focus on ACT in all classrooms across all grades. We've had a mini boot camp for juniors this week, last week and this week. We'll be finishing that up on Thursday. So we've done a lot of different things to get them prepared for that test. But it is, again, just attendance is very important on that day. 12th graders on that day, that is a career and college exploration day for them. So they will actually get to be off campus that day. And yes, that's principal code for they don't have to be in attendance on the 12th, because it literally takes every teacher and every classroom we have to operate those tests for 9 through 11. So 12th graders, we give them a college and career day, and they have some papers they have to fill out that day, and some places they have to visit, and some other things that are fun that day for them. So they get a little bit of reward because they got to go through this last year, and so they get a little bit of reward on that day for them. So that's a big day for us. Mark that down. I will have those spring dates for you at the board meeting. I'll have a formal calendar typed up for you to give out to you. I will be meeting with seniors tomorrow to give them those important senior dates that are coming up in the spring, and I'll have that for you all at the board meeting. We've got a couple of tentative dates set, so hopefully by the board meeting I'll have those finalized for you. And then the last thing that I have for you, I placed up there a copy of the current fee schedule for community use of facilities, and I wanted to give you all a copy of that because it has been quite some time since we have evaluated that. So I wanted you to look at it again, and see if you all wanted to make any changes to that, if you all were satisfied with those numbers, just because those numbers were set back under the old policy of, nonprofits, okay? So now that you've got entering in the idea of for-profit groups coming in, you may want to look at that and consider some different things. One thing that I would ask you to consider is adding a supervision fee for those for-profit events of $25 an hour, so that if there is someone that is designated to be there for supervision purposes, that person can be compensated for that as well. Okay, so that's something that I just want to put out there to you. You all take a look at that. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer anything that I can. Again, before I have to slide out to a soccer game. But again, that would be primarily used for those for-profit events, since somebody would have to be there for the entirety of those events. Any questions from you guys?
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Ms. Goodman.
Okay, I do have several dates for parents that they need to know about, but the first thing I want to say is the teachers are working now. They have their 25-day countdown before 10 ready, and so they are finishing up any skills they still have, or looking at some things they feel like students just need to see again, and they're starting that major review, and that will be here upon us before we know it. But some dates for the parents. Of course, tonight we have our first soccer game against Robbins, and then we play Fairview on Thursday. This coming up Saturday on the 9th, the students that won in the Clinch Pal Science Fair will be going to LMU at 9 o'clock. I do want to congratulate Lucas Dyer for being the winner at Huntsville Middle School. He got $150, so it is very much worth these kids participating in this. And then, of course, this weekend is Spring Forward, so we're losing an hour. On the 11th, Huntsville Middle will be starting their STAR benchmark. The end of the 9 weeks is on the 12th, but grade cards will not go home until parent-teacher conferences, so parents need to know that. They can come out on the 19th, which is parent-teacher conferences from 4 to 7, pick up their child's grade card. If they can't make that, they're welcome to call, set up appointments with the teachers. But then on Wednesday, all grade cards will go home that were remaining. The very next day on the 20th is also early release, and again, we want to remind parents of those times. Special ed buses and pickups will leave at 12 o'clock. Our first load leaves at 12:15, and the second load pulls out at 12:40. Miss Tennessee will be at Huntsville on the 25th of this month, so we're looking forward to seeing her. 25th through the 27th is cheer practice for tryouts, and then on the 28th will actually be the cheer tryouts at 4 o'clock. Our spring pictures are on the 26th, along with soccer. And our junior beta club initiation will be in the gym at 1:30 Thursday on the 28th. And our academic team will have a trip on the 29th. So that's a lot of date for parents. We have these calendars that we send home with the parents, but they can also get online and look any of this up if they have any questions. Anything from you?
You have a lot going on.
A lot. It's packed. All
Thank
right.
you. Mr. Cash.
Miss Donna actually took a lot of what I had to say, so a lot of my stuff's the same. Like you said, 25 instructional days left until testing. Our teachers are doing the same, getting into the review, finishing those standards, and hopefully gonna have a good testing session in a few weeks. We did have a soccer game tonight at Birchfield. That's one that's rescheduled. We don't have a date yet, but Miss Tanya got hold of us this morning, just some weather concerns, so we canceled that. We're going to reschedule it. We do have our first home game Thursday against Huntsville. I want to congratulate Hannah Bird, Fairview. She was our winner at the LMU Science Fair. She'll move on. We'll wish her the best of luck as she moves on along with everybody else. Our book fair is next week. Third 9 weeks ends on the 12th, and parent-teacher conference on the 19th. Also, next week on the 11th, our STAR testing starts. And then we had I don't know if Ms. Keaton's gonna mention it or not, but we had kindergarten, pre-K registration last Friday, and, ours went really well, I feel. We still have, we've got more than, we always, want more. We've got to our limit in preschool, but you can still we'll take all we can get. Kindergarten, anybody that's out there still need to register, still bring those in, but number wise is very comparable to what it is this year, and those, this year's up compared to the way it was last 2 or 3 years, so we're excited about that. That's all I have, unless you guys have anything for me.
Thank you. Miss Lisa.
I have one item for the agenda. I would like to start the process and get it on the agenda to start the process to bid the playground, if we can. So if that's okay, I'd like to get that on there. And with that, I'd like to give an update on the playground. We have raised $65,067. And with the board contribution, that brings it up to $115,067. So that does not include the brick pavers. We still have that, we can add on to that. But we're very excited that we've raised that much money, and again, we appreciate your contributions. We're so excited. We can't wait to keep moving forward. We have some activities still planned. We still have some other things that have been promised, and I'm going to go through those really quick with you. Mountain Peoples, we have a pledge from them for $2,500. Rome State Community College, they voted to give us $2,500. Jones Stonecipher, Miss Kelly Terry's aunt, has still promised $10,000. And we have Brimstone, who's promised $1,000, and Pennies for a Purpose, $1,000. So we still have those out there that haven't come in yet, and we're waiting to hear from them. So those, we're still so excited. Can't wait to get some more in. But on our calendar events, on March 1st, we had our pre-K. Pre-K, we had 21 registered, and for kindergarten, 57. And that's about comparable, but we always have a lot more, like Scott had, comes on in later. March 7th, we'll be hosting the textbook caravan that comes in for social studies, and we've made all the arrangements and got everything worked out, so we're excited to have them to come on in and everybody come visit us. And we'll be having that in our playroom. March the 12th, we'll have our family reading night. Thursday, March 14th, we have our science fair. They'll have judging coming in, and on the 15th, we'll have our viewing and awards day for the science fair. On the 19th, we have our parent-teacher conferences 4 to 7, and then thanks to Ms. Goodman for opening up her gym right after their presentation, we'll get to see Miss Tennessee. So our students will come on over to the middle school gym and get to see that. We have scheduled now our pre-K and kindergarten promotion ceremonies after Ms. Goodman's on the 21st. We'll be on the 22nd. So we've all scheduled that, and I'll send that to you later. So that's all I have, unless you have anything for me.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Miss Amy.
Mr. Shannon's out of the county this evening for a meeting, so he's gave me some notes. We have our last school store going on now. Students have until next Tuesday to place orders for those. On March the 7th, we have our pre-K donuts with Dad at 8:15. This is where the pre-K dads can come in and have breakfast with their students. Our science fair is Thursday, March the 7th, and then the 8th will be viewing and awards day. And then next Friday, March the 8th, no, this Friday, March the 8th at 5:30, we have bingo night, mother and son bingo. And then Tuesday, March the 12th, the third 9 weeks ends. Thursday, March the 14th is picture day. And also on the 14th, we have pre-K muffins with Mom. And we'd like to congratulate Emma Carroll. She's our 6th grade science fair winner for the Clinch Pal, and she'll be representing us in LMU. So we wish her a lot of luck. That's all he left me.
Okay, thank you. Miss Stanley.
Let me ask what the update is on the lights. Mr. Hall, I haven't had a chance to talk to you.
Update on the lights is Mr. Jeff Vaughn with Vaughn Electric, High Point Electric, called me yesterday with his quote on the parts, everything there. Now, I still have to get one more quote, which he knows another company, they'll send that in. As soon as he gets that, they'll send me both the quotes from that. Then we do that, we'll get the process started. I know they've already started for where they're gonna place the poles up there. I didn't know that. Once I get that from him, then I can take everything to finance.
Okay.
And then we have to order the lights, which is probably about a 6-week process on the order of the lights from what they've told me. Looking at about now total project, probably coming in a little over $32,000. So, that's,
So what do you think our estimated finish date would be?
whenever he gets me that, and I can get that over there, and then call and get the lights ordered. I'd hate to tell you, May, estimated,
Okay, do you think for sure this time it will be before football season?
yes.
Because we've been waiting that
That's
year.
August. Pretty positive it'll be before your first game, absolutely.
Okay,
We should have done before school's out.
okay.
If not, be right after.
Coach Jesse is very anxiously
Yeah.
awaiting those.
So,
Okay, we want to wish happy birthday to Miss Kim and Miss Linda before we go on to anything else. We had our science fair last Friday also, and want to thank, we had several of the board members, Miss Short, Miss Esther, Miss Kim, Mr. Stanley, who came up and helped to judge that, so we really appreciate y'all coming up and doing that. We had our overall show winner was Haven Chitwood, and our LMU winner was 6th grader Colton Hatfield, and again, like Mr. Cash said, he took home $150 check that day. So we tried to emphasize to our 6th graders that it's not only educational, but it can also be financially profitable to participate in that. The academic team has completed their schedule this year, and I want to congratulate Isaiah McDonough for being one of the top 10 participants on that. And also, just want to mention that we appreciate football coaches Jesse King and Bradley Stevens from our school. Bradley also coaches basketball. They were our academic team coaches this time. So that was kind of a treat for us and for them to see those football coaches coaching the academic team. We had a lot of fun with them over that. Miss Kim King had her jump rope for heart activity, and she raised $372.50 to contribute to the Heart Fund with that activity. For us, this is Dr. Seuss Read Across America Week, and yesterday Miss Kim came up and read a story to our pre-K and kindergarten classes, and today Miss Debbie came up and read a story to our 1st grade, and I think Mr. Sexton is coming up tomorrow, right?
yes.
And Miss Keaton's coming up Thursday. And if any of the rest of you want to come up and read, you're certainly welcome to come. We loved having Miss Debbie and Miss Kim. They did a great job, and the kids loved having them there. It's also kind of a spirit week for Dr. Seuss, so we've had a dress up for days. If you haven't seen my socks, I have on my Dr. Seuss socks tonight. I really am not trying to look like Michael Jackson. I really, it's Dr. Seuss. So, just in case you notice that. Tomorrow, we're having green eggs and ham day, and that is to wear green. So tomorrow, everybody's going to wear green, except I think one of my secretaries, she's actually designed her costume to be green eggs and ham. So if you come up to school and you see some weird-looking people, that's why it is. We've still been kind of battling the flu business a little bit. Miss Vaden is out all week. She's had the flu. Today, one of my secretaries had to go to the cafeteria and help serve because we're short a cafeteria lady. I had so many teacher assistants out that my nurse and my other secretary went to be teacher assistant monitors in the cafeteria today. So we've really kind of been trying to wear a lot of hats the last week or two. We're hoping that clears up pretty soon. I do want to tell my teachers and all the parents that the teachers have done a great job of decorating for Dr. Seuss. When you come up, if you look particularly at the elementary side, they've decorated the doors and the hallways. They look absolutely great. Parents are welcome to come up and visit with them, visit with the classrooms, and see what all they've done. We have reading challenges going on. We have a trivia contest going on, and it's unbelievable, some of the students, how quickly they'll come up with a trivia answer about Dr. Seuss. So we're really proud of them for that. Thursday, our cafeteria ladies are providing a Dr. Seuss birthday cake, so we're excited about that. Yesterday, the Alpha Foundation came up and presented 6 of our teachers with checks to work on projects and activities that they have going. And we're always thankful to that Winfield Academic Foundation for providing that. Our teachers that got the grants this time were Dave Blevins, Stacy Botts, Michelle Norris, Lynn Smoody, and Stephen Rogers. So they're excited about spending that money and getting some projects going for that. So it's like both the other principals have said, it's a busy time for all of us with a lot going on in a lot of different areas. So just keep saying your prayers that everybody survives the next couple of months. Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Paulette.
Well, I don't have any of the fun things and party things.
I've been buried up with bids and all this stuff and commodities.
I do have 2 things that I would like to put on the agenda, and I talked with Ms. Sharon Sexton, so it's probably on your list. One is the bid renewals. I would like to be able to renew the food and non-food, the ice cream, the milk, and the turkey commodity processing. And the other thing is, I would ask her to put on there to get permission to be able to have finance to bid, if needed, processing for cheese, tomatoes, and potatoes. I have been doing those for the last couple years, but we did it on a rebate system, and I didn't actually have to do a formal bid with it. The companies, whatever, we just got velocity reports from the company, or from our IWC, and we sent it to the vendors, and then they wrote us a check. We got it for some, however much, whichever companies I sent these products to out of commodities to their companies. But now the state is coming through, we're just now finding out that they're saying, well, they don't think we can do that anymore. So we're probably gonna have to bid this in order to be able to do that and to use these commodities for processing and doing it on the rebate system. I don't know for sure that I'm going to do that, but I'm thinking about it. I have to make up my mind by next week on the 14th, because my worksheet to the state on commodities is due on the 14th for next year. And if so, then they're giving us to May to do the bid. But if I don't get it on the agenda now and go ahead and get it approved in case I do it, then I won't be able to. So I would like permission to be able to do that. The other thing, it's not that I enjoy, that's 3 more bids I have to write, which I'd rather not do, but the other thing I would like to say, though, is not for the agenda, but it is to just brag on my cafeteria crew. For the year, they have all received 100s across the board on their health inspection reports, and that is an honor for them to receive that. So we have had all of those come in, and they've all received that, so I'm very, very proud of them and all the hard work that they do. And if any of you, I'm not big on the Facebook scene either, or social media, but I do try to look every now and then, but you will see some of them, you'll see a lot of good things going out there. They try to post what they're doing with Dr. Seuss and all the other activities. Also, this week was also National School Breakfast Week, and they've all got some activities going on, offering coloring contests, and if everybody eats, they have a drawing for free things and all those stuff. So they're doing a great job promoting everything. So I just like to brag on them a little bit. They're a great group. So, but that's all I have, unless y'all have something for me.
Thank you. Ms. Linda.
Hey, I laid a sheet up on your desk up there with some of the things that's coming, that's already happening and maybe coming. We did have pre-K and kindergarten graduation, not graduation, registration March the 1st, that was last Friday, at each individual school. Sometimes we in most cases, we do get additional registration forms and additional students who come in after this. I know with pre-K, we have to conduct it. Sometimes I wonder how, how true to face it really is, because we get so many more right before school starts. But I do need to let parents know we do have additional space in our pre-K classes, and I'm sure in kindergarten also. So if parents weren't able to come out on that March the 1st, they can pick up a registration packet from any of our schools, or they can pick up one from here and, fill it out and turn that in, and that packet has all the requirements that they need together to turn in with that registration packet. The LMU Clint Powell Science Fair for 6th graders, and we've just been talking about the science fair. We did have the winners, and most of the principals mentioned the winners of their school, and I listed them on your paper up there. The judges, Clint Powell sent a group of judges, 3 groups of judges, to come out and choose the winners from each school on March the 1st. They sent teams out to each school, and they had the time, and so those winners did receive $150 if they were just the winner of the school. So that's a really good opportunity. Not only doing a science fair project as a sixth grader gets you recognition, as well as that monetary value, and then it's a learning thing, and then they get to move on to the LMU Science Fair, where the range of money there is $100 to $500. So hopefully we'll have some winners. And if you've not been to that ever, it's a really neat thing. It's held at LMU. It's on the 8th. And I think I do have it listed here somewhere. The judging will be on Friday, March 8th at 9 o'clock on the LMU campus in the Hamilton Math and Science Building. There was a time that it was held in the gymnasium, but now it's at that Hamilton Math and Science Building. So it's really a neat thing to go see all the projects in all these districts that are Clinch Powell districts. Parent-teacher conferences, I know some of the principals did mention that. Monday, March 18th from 3:30 to 6:30 for the Scott High students, and on Tuesday, March 19th from 4 to 7 for the elementary middle school students. And we always encourage parents to come out, talk to their child's teacher, see the progress being made, and pick up that report card. So that's coming up here in a couple of weeks. Then our countywide science fair. We're in the process of having school science fairs right now. I know Robbins has one March the 7th, Birchville March the 13th, Huntsville Elementary Middle March the 14th. And then the countywide is March the 21st at Scott High School. And that's when the judging will be held. And then parents can come in on that afternoon of the 21st from like 5 to 7 and view the projects. And then on the March 22nd, we base those kids in that participate, and they get to view all the projects and then take their project home. We appreciate Ms. Melissa letting us hold that again out there. Judging will start at 10:30 a.m. and we need judges, so I'll be talking to all of you all who have helped with that science fair judging, because we usually have to have about 15 to 20 judges to get all that done in the time frame that we need in order to get the cards scanned, get back out there, put up the prizes, and time for parents and community members to come and view that. So it's a job, it really is, and I do appreciate our instructional coaches who help with the bubbling and help me. We have to set up the tables, and Mr. Blakely always gets his maintenance to set up those tables out at Sky High, and then we have to clean those off, and we have to do the labels and do the spreadsheet. So it's a process, but for us it's very much worth it. So we hope we've got and have had a lot of participants in there. The Nancy Swain Waters Memorial Walk will be held on April the 12th. I did send out entry forms to all the principals.
and they need to be filled out and in the office for pickup, and I'll pick those up on March the 29th, and that's a really good cause, and we usually have quite a bit of participation in the walk. And then the TN Ready testing. We have already started getting in our boxes of tests. We got the alt today, and we will be getting the actual TCAP, the TN Ready boxes. We usually get about 70 or 80 boxes in here, probably in a couple of weeks, toward the end of March. It will begin on approximately April the 17th and run through the very end of April. That first week of testing, we have to do the writing component, part 1, get all that done, get that out, and then finish that test. A lot of new information coming out about testing that I have been trying to gather up to get to everybody. And then this year, what's new, school or building level testing coordinators can now go online and take a training. There's a PowerPoint and a training for those building level testing coordinators, which helps them go ahead and train their teachers as well as might help them with training too. And then the pre-K kindergarten portfolio. Kindergarten and pre-K teachers have been working on this all throughout the school year, and those will be due May 1st, and kind of a controversial thing, and I really kind of creates a problem. Those teachers worry with that all year long, and sometimes I think they worry with that instead of doing what they need to be doing with students. But it's still a reality, and working toward that, and so those will be due May 1st. And that's everything.
Thank you. Mr. Blakely.
All right, thank you. I'll stand up because I need to stretch too. There is one item that probably is already on the agenda. Ms. Sexton sent me an email, asked if we wanted to renew the contract with Morristown Sprinkler for the inspection of the sprinklers. I'm not aware, wasn't aware that we had a contract per se, but it never hurts to go ahead and have something in place for something that's critical to your safety, like your sprinkler system. So I told her to go ahead and put that on the agenda. They come in and they have to be inspected every year, and then there's some other inspections, periodic inspections that they have to undergo. So that will be on your agenda. I do want to thank Ms. Hamilton for agreeing to host a caravan. That's going to be a big thing for us this year. Actually, it's such a big adoption this year that I had to enlist 2 other sites. Ms. Hamilton will have K through 8 plus the high school social studies adoption people. And the caravan, this is the 2nd year that they've had it in the new era. They used to have it a long time ago, and they just brought all the books around or something for people to look at before they adopted. Now we meet, we decide our top candidates, and we tell them what we want, who we want to hear from. The Tennessee Book Company gives us a date, and we work around that date. So the social studies K through 12 will be at Ms. Hamilton's Playroom in the afternoon of Thursday the 7th, and there's a whole schedule which I won't bore you with it, but has to all be scheduled out for all the presenters to have their time. A couple of them are having webinars, which we're going to use the Technology Center, our Technology Center. Mr. Greg Bond is very gracious and allowing us to, and helping us with that. And we're probably going to use the Presbyterian Church's social room for the CTE portion of it, which is business and finance and so forth. That we had our career and technical education spring advisory meeting today. I want to thank Ms. Abbott, her husband Ackman, and all the others that were there today that helped advise our programs. It was a really good meeting, I thought. We talked about, our successes, and talked about some of the things that the changes that's happening in CTE. We really didn't talk as much about our successes as we did the changes that's coming, which is kind of a big deal. If you saw the governor's speech last night. He talked about a lot of new money for career and technical education, and so we think that could be positive. And 25 million for one aspect of it, about 4 million for STEM. And there's probably some strings attached, but we think it would be a good thing overall. You voted to allow us to do bids for the roof at Scott High a few months back. And I asked for it fairly early because I knew there'd be a process in order to get the bids. You know, this is not like putting a roof on a house where you're going to get a 25-year shingle or a 30-year shingle or metal. This is a much more complicated process. The Thursday that we were out, Mr. Allen Hill, who's our architect, has been extremely helpful to me when it comes to these complicated projects that are beyond my expertise. He and Mr. Mike Silcox and myself that Thursday went over the Scott High roof, and he's going to help us make a decision of what kind of roof that we actually need there. It appears that there's actually 2 roofs already there. And Ms. Richter's right, that roof almost catastrophically failed. It shouldn't have gone that long, but it did. So we had to patch it and try to get through till spring, summer, where we can decide what kind of roof that we want and get the right specifications and bid the right roof for the structure that we need. You know, it'll be an expensive project, no doubt. It'll be very expensive. And so we want to make sure that we do it right the first time and not have it messed up. So I've got Ms. Hill to help us. Hopefully we'll have some specs, can have a bid process begin and hopefully finish before school starts next year. We are going to need a new roof at Robbins at some point on part of the old building. We've talked about that. That's something the board needs to consider. It doesn't have to be this meeting, but we probably need to be looking at that sooner rather than later. This building could use a new roof. It's probably still got a few more years left on it, but we've got a stubborn leak or two that, you know, we have to keep patching at. And there comes a point where you're losing money by having to repair all the damage and then try to patch the roof leak too. And somebody said, you know, it's kind of a standard joke with me, well, we can't fix it in the rain, and when it's not raining, you don't have a problem. But we really do have a problem with, particularly at Scott High, and some of these others are going to be problems in the near future. Robbins in the old part really needs to be looked at sooner rather than later. And I think that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions.
Thank you for the bad news.
Well, you know, we got a lot of damage we got to repair at Scott High. And it's going to be a big job to do. There's the bathroom in the hall, the girls' bathroom, sheetrock's come down in that. And if we had to replace that roof 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or even last year, we would have been spared. We're still going to have to pay for it. You know, we're going to have to buy a roof, and we would have been spared all that other work. Room the trophy case. I mean, you know, hindsight's 20/20, as they say.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Hall.
Thank you. Items for the agenda. Would like to approve the following, out-of-town overnight trips for the Family Resource Coordinated School Health, April 7th through the 10th of Franklin, Tennessee. Huntsville Middle, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, March 1st to the 2nd. Winfield Beta Club, Pigeon Forge, May 6th to the 8th. Scott High School Tech, TI Graph and Calculator, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The Transportation Department, June 2nd through the 5th, 2019 to the TAPT Conference, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Also like to approve the following amendments to the General Purpose Budget Amendment number 5 the federal budget amendment number 5. Also, I'd like to approve the first reading of board policies. Policy number 1.803, tobacco-free schools. Policy 4.209, alternative credit options. Policy 4.603, promotion and retention. And we also need to have a motion to revise the board meeting schedule for the next work session, which is scheduled for Tuesday, April the 2nd. That is spring break, and I guess as Sharon got looking at everything, didn't realize that that was still, we thought we'd missed it, but apparently not. So anyway, we'd like to move that work session to March 26th at 4:30, Tuesday, March 26th. So I'm sure that'll make everyone happy, and you have a spring break. Of course, Ms. Hamilton asked about the bid the playground at Huntsville Elementary School. We'll need to reach out to Mr. Allen Hill. John, I guess in the next couple of days, you've been in contact with him about starting the process on the bids with the Huntsville playground also too.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can do that.
Good deal,
I
thank
can
you.
do that.
Also, I know I spoke to several board members, and you all have asked me this, would like to amend on our board travel policy. You go, instead of doing the receipt, we could go back to doing the per diem. We'll start that effective July 1. So. That's all I have for items of the agenda. As I know some of our principals already said, the parent-teacher conference, March 18th from 3:30 to 6, Monday, 3:30 to 6:30, Scott High School. Tuesday, March 19th from 4 to 7 at the elementary and middle schools. And as they've mentioned too, our middle school soccer season has started. I know one game was canceled today, one game is being played today. So that's starting today. Our basketball season for the high school is over for both the boys and girls, as the boys was knocked out of regional play 2 weeks ago. And guys, I know we have early release on the 20th of this month. Bus leaving Huntsville Middle at 12:15. Leave Scott High School at 12:30. And that's all I have, unless you guys have any questions for me.
I have one more addition, Mr. Alf, if I could. April 25th and 26th, I need to get a trip approved for the spring CTE. Director.
CTE.
Yeah.
Okay. And I do have for the TSBA summer law, by the way, which is scheduled July 18th to 20th. We have rooms at the Park Vista. Went in yesterday, so everyone, I have everyone registered. It's all of us. So if you plan to think you want me to attend, let me know.
Yeah, if we don't go, we need to let you know for sure.
Let me know for
We're
sure.
gonna pay for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for bringing the bad news, Miss Esther.
Well, we expect it every now and then, John.
I'm sorry. If I overreacted, I apologize
No,
for
that's
that.
fine. Still cost you everything.
Just want to wish Miss Ted and Miss Sharp a happy birthday.
Does anybody sing happy birthday
I was asked about the plaque that's supposed to be put up at the bus
I'm
garage.
glad you mentioned that.
Because what?
Because we need to talk to Allen Hill about that plaque.
Okay.
John.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Like the bus garage. I can't find out who's made those.
What do we,
No one
what
here.
kind of plaque is it?
It's like goes into school, it talks about, it's got the board member's name on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
we can do
All
that.
right.
No, we have a board member, Mr. Sexton, that served many years.
Yes.
That was on there when
Yes.
it was decided, and I would hate for that not to be put up, you know, without him knowing that. He needs to be recognized for it.
We talked about it several times.
We have. I just can't find out who makes them.
You get credit.
So. That's how I want to come to you and ask how who puts those out.
I can do that.
Diane, did you have anything?
That is the only thing I have.
I'd just like to commend Ms. Hamilton and her committee on the playground. I know they've been different places asking for help on the playground, and I've heard lots of complimentary remarks about that, and they're just doing a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Ms. Kim.
Okay, John, do you have anything?
Happy birthday to Miss Kim, and I Miss Linda is my board member, and she's also my school superintendent, so I know she's 29 today. I'm not sure about.
Sunday school, Sunday school, not school superintendent. Sorry, Gail, I didn't think about that.
That's the director.
She was my second grade teacher.
Oh, let's stop right there.
So she must have been, what, 5 at the time? Happy birthday to both of them.
Happy birthday, Wednesday.
Happy birthday, Kim.
Happy birthday, ladies. I think we do need to ask the principals their recommendations on the fee schedule for the use of facilities. I'd like to know if you guys have any recommendations for that. I think they probably do need to be looked at. You know, this was for nonprofit, and it seems to be really cheap, but if somebody was to be coming in making a good amount of money, I think the facility fees should be going up if it's for profit. And I was just wondering if the principals had any recommendations on that. No? Not at all?
This director probably has that before.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we did something that they were in agreement upon, because you guys are going to have to deal with it. You guys know what goes into those more than anybody. You definitely need to be able to prove them and make sure they don't happen if they shouldn't, but I want you guys to be involved in the fee schedule as well. I would be open to you guys approving whatever fee you decide on the event based upon just that event. Like, you look at the event and then you decide how much the fee should be, and I would be open to that rather than just a flat fee. But I do think it needs to be changed.
I think we need to look just a flat fee. I think we open ourselves up a little bit if we keep that door open.
Okay.
I'm just keeping it as a flat fee.
Yeah.
You know, you can look at, as far as what it costs. I do like the thing of adding a supervisor fee onto that. I think if somebody's gonna give up their time, especially on a weekend or whatever, you know, event, and I don't think there'll be many, I truly don't. But when you have them, it does take the time, so.
Yeah.
And I think you'll have to look at, you know, the pay for the other people that's gonna have to be there too, and start from there and include that with it. So you've got a whole list, not just, because there's other people that will have to be there, other than just the administrators.
Well, they had a fee in there for.
Maintenance, there is one.
We haven't rented this out for, just for
Yeah.
somebody to make profit from. So that's something that you're looking at principles, that we haven't done that before.
We'll have to
And
worry
this
about
director
that.
may have at the high school,
Yeah.
I don't know. But now the elementaries and middle schools have not, as far as I know, allowed the use of our facilities for profit in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's been. I don't think it's been since I've been principal. So this all is a little bit new to us. I'm not sure what the fees are on that. We've not seen that, or I haven't.
I agree with Mr. Hall as far as the flat fee, because just keep it simple, and because if not, then they'll be calling everybody trying to see who can do it the cheapest, and negotiate with that. So I just think a flat, just keep it simple, and a flat fee, whatever, you know, if it's 20, like Ms. Rector said, $20 an hour or whatever, if that's what everybody agrees to, or whatever, that would be the best way to go as far as that.
Anything else?
Do we need to add that to the agenda for next time? Do you guys want to give it some time? And
Yeah, we need some time to look at it.
Okay.
Time to look at it.
okay.
We have one in place now. What we have in place is what you
Yeah.
have in front of you. So, if you want to think about if it needs to go up, or we can talk about that, get their input. And also look, I said, I would like to, you have to supervise.
Yeah.
All right. Other than that, glad to see everybody again. We'll see you Thursday, I guess.
Thursday we go. Thursday on the 7th. We're going to Knoxville. You're good. Happy birthday, girl.